Hello everyone and welcome back to another Bot War miniature game battle report, and today we're having a force of the Atlanticans versus the Deceivers, featuring a couple of new miniatures that just got finished up, and also some of the core box set and also some miniatures that have been in the previous two as well. If you want to get caught up, you can go watch them in the playlist. We're playing on this table, as you can see, having to kind of yada some of the scenery to be used for the specific mission we're playing today. But we'll go over that in more detail once we've taken a look at the teams. So this is the Atlantican team, and you can see before them the number of energy cubes that they're providing just by their presence. So the team is being led by, this is called King Crab, but Crab is an acronym, and it's basically King Gil's, leader of the Atlanticans, inside a mech suit to lead his troops, because normally he's just a normal sized guy. So he's inside here piloting this. It's pretty powerful, pretty high point cost to bring as well. And then the rest of it is just the Atlanticans from the two-player starter sets. So that's Moray, Stingray, and then I am going to cheat to read these names because I never remember them. That is Aegon, Thermal, Nami, and Nebulous. And you can see they've got what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17 cubes. That's a lot more than the Deceivers side, but the Deceivers in general are a lot more powerful than the individual miniatures here. So here is the Deceivers team being led by Mega Tyrant, who is providing 2 energy cubes, being joined by Electro Tyrant, which is one of the new miniatures finished, obviously very heavy shockwave vibes. And then we have some of the constructors, but not all of them. So from left to right, again cheating totally by reading their names off their cards. Dump Truck from left to right. Loader, Roller at the back there, and Dozer with the shield there. And they've only got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13 energy cubes. So yeah, they're not going to have as much dice to potentially spend on boosting their defense or attack or whatever. But in general, they're much stronger on an individual unit basis. So with that said, we're going to get set up and then we can go over the scenario rules and what we're using the various bits of scenery for. So both sides are set up and we are going to be playing Scenario 3, Control the Space Bridge. I know it says Portal, but it's a space bridge. It's 8 turns in length. Deployment, you roll, and you have a 6-inch deployment zone at left and right. Atlanticans are on your left, Deceivers are on your right. You can do some special rules if you want to do a thematic game, but we're not going to do those. We're just doing a straight up normal one. So the special rules regarding the space bridge are where we're kind of yada-yadaing a little bit, because I don't have anything that looks like a space bridge for scenery, so we're going to use the Throne of Thanos and the intervening terrain. So the point of contention is the seat of the throne itself, so that circle basically. From turn 3 onwards, it becomes a scoring point, and the side with the most miniatures near there will gain a victory point. But given that it's forcing everybody into that one singular point, it's probably going to be a case of who wipes out who first. I doubt this is going to go the length, but for the first 2 rounds, it does not score. Sorry, it's from the end of round 3 onwards. Yes, from the end of round 3. Other than that, there's no other special conditions. We're going to say that this is impassable terrain for anyone who can't fly. So the only side with flying is Moray and Stingray. But other than that, it's just get into the center and hold the center. So it's going to be a bloodbath one way or the other, I feel. And in Bot War, you don't roll for who goes first, it's down to strategy rating, and the side with the fastest strategy rating is the Deceivers. So with that, let's jump into battle round 1. So new to the table, Electro Tyrant is the fastest person here at strategy rating 3, and he is purely ranged based, which is a bit weird because it looks like he's using a mace, but still. He spent 1 energy cube of the 3 he was given to do a move action, 7 inches to where you can see him. Then he did a long range attack, so his normal range attack is 4, but down to 3 for firing long range. He fired at King Crab, and as you can see, he rolled really well. King Crab spent 1 die on a boost for his shield, and as you can see, he did not roll well. He only rolled 2, so that negates that, which means he still takes 4. Plus, Electro Tyrant has a rule called Surge. If he lands a hit, he does 1 additional damage for every unspent energy still on him that can't be shielded in any way. And he still has 1 energy left because he had 3 and he moved and shot, so he has 1 left. So he actually has accidentally just moved the throne a little bit. He actually did 5 damage of the 8 King Crab has, which is pretty bad. King Crab has a once per game force field ability he can use, which can give him or an ally within a certain radius 3 extra shield dice. Didn't think it was required on just a 3 attack dice roll, and as you can see, that's what happens. So not a good start for the Atlanticans. So next fastest person on the table was Stingray, strategy rating 4, and he had 3 energy to spend. He spent 2 of it to do his once per game air raid, so he can triple his movement, he can fly over all terrain because he's transforming into a jet, and wherever he ends up he can only do ranged attacks, he can't do close combat. So he had more than enough to fly into the centre of the space bridge and landed there, and he initiated a close range because he made sure he was just within 10. Ranged attack on Electro Tyrant. Electro Tyrant did boost with his last energy die cube that he had. As you can see, the roll again was fantastic, and the +1 shield die didn't matter. It was all blanks. It's going to be one of those days. He just did 6, 7, 8 to 7 health model. Thanks for playing, Electro Tyrant. He's dead. Oh dear. So next fastest strategy rating was Mori, the other jet, and he also had 3 energy, so he did exactly the same. He spent 2 to do his once per game air raid to position himself as a secure position around the space portal, and then he did a ranged attack on Dump Truck. Out of range 10, so it was a long range attack, so he lost a die, so it was only 2, but as you can see he rolled a 3. It's again just one of those lucky days. Dump Truck though finally rolled well on those defense dice, which I was starting to think are cursed, so he blocked all the damage and took nothing. So now it's a bunch of strategy rating 6s, I think, for the Deceivers, which is all the constructors, but then it's all the light blue Atlanticans. So both sides are about to get a lot of activations simultaneously, so that might be interesting. So of the many constructors who get to activate first before another Atlantican moves, Dump Truck went first with 2 energy cubes, spent 1 to move within close range, and then fired a ranged attack at Mori. Neither of them had any energy left to boost, so it was just a straight up roll, and as you can see he rolled 4 successes, and then on the shield there was 2. So he took 2 damage, leaving him on, I think it was 4, yes, he has 4 HP left. Loader was next up, and he followed his core combiner and did basically the same turn. 1 to move up to 7 because that's his movement stat, and then a close range attack on Mori. He did 4 with his damage, and then for the shields, as you can see, he fully blocked it, so at least somebody knows how to block damage on this battlefield. Roller activated next and spent his 2 energy cubes on simply moving twice for a total of 14 inches. He's going for the long flank around the space bridge, and he is hiding over here. So remember, this is counting as higher than it actually is, so he is fully obscured. Although if one of the Atlanticans come around far enough, they could still see him. Dozer was the last of the strategy rating 6s. He moved up for 1 energy, 7 inches, and then went about another 1.5 inches or so for his other energy, and opted to stay hidden behind that scenery because he couldn't quite get around. It would have taken him 2 moves to move into the open, and then he'll just end up getting shot. So he's hiding. So now it's over to all the strategy rating 7s, which is all the short guys here except the crab suit. So of the aforementioned many Atlanticans that get to activate in a row now, Nebulous activated, moved for 1 energy cube, 7 inches to where you can see, and then took a long shot at Dozer. Yes, Dozer. And because he was firing outside 10, he lost a die, so it was just 2, but he rolled 4, which is pretty good. Dozer is obscured though, he could not see up to 50% of him, so he got cover, so that's why there's an extra black die thrown in. Even if he didn't get that, he actually rolled exactly enough that he did not take any damage. Plus I forgot he has a shield, which I think would have made a difference as well, but either way he's not taking any damage. Thermal was next up, and he has magnetic disruptor guns, which means if he can get into close range he rolls nothing but the black dies, which are super powerful. So he double moved for the 2 energy cubes he was given and made it up as far as you can see there. So if anyone wants to shoot him, they'd have to move into the open, and Mega Tyrant might be able to get him, but he'd have cover. Nami was the next one to go. That's the one with the trident and the shield. Double moved as well, 14 inches, up right smack dab into the middle. That's what you call a honeypot. Aegon, who started next to King Crab, was the last one of the strategy rating 7s. He double moved 14 as well in total, and has ended up there round the corner. He's going to go meet Dozer to see what happens. Sorry, Roller to go see what happens. So that's all the strategy rating 7s. The next high strategy rating is the max. It's 10. So we're over to Mega Tyrant and then back over to King Crab. So Mega Tyrant only had 2 energy to spend. He spent the first to move up with his troops, and then he unleashed a powerful ranged blast on Mori. And as you can tell by the dice already, the attack roll was really good, but the defense roll was good enough to mitigate most of the damage. So 5 of the 6 damage was blocked. Mori took 1. He has 3 left and is obviously still standing. King Crab activated and he stomped forwards for 1 activation cube. He then only had 1 other one to spend, so he initiated a ranged attack beyond range 10 on Mega Tyrant, so he was only rolling 2 dice. He's kind of middle of the road. He gets 3 ranged, 3 shield, 3 close combat, so he's 3s on everything, but down to 2 because he's firing at long range. He still managed to roll 5. Mega Tyrant rolls 4 defense dice and he rolled 4, so he only lost 1, and he's tanky, so he's got 9 HP left. But that does take us to the end of Battle Round 1, and as stated at the start, the Space Bridge doesn't score until the end of Round 3, so we are just ready to begin again, but obviously the energy pool for the Deceivers is now lower because they are a man down. So with Electro Tyrant off the field from being dead, there was no strategy rating 3, so the early strategy rating is Stingray, which is this one, at strategy rating 5, and then 4 I think, and then he goes at 5 next, and then it's the big bunch of 6s for the Deceivers. So anyway, he stayed still. He boosted a ranged attack because normally his ranged attack is 3, but he threw an extra die in for boosting by spending 2 dice on it, and he shot at Loader. You can see Loader only gets 2 defense dice, so he blocked 2, which means he took 2 damage. His weapon also has Blast, so anything within 2 also takes 1, so Mega Tyrant took 1, and what's his name, Dump Truck? Yes, Dump Truck took 1 more. Now that's only his first action. He spent 2 cubes, but he was given 3, so he can do another one, but I wanted to cover that one first before we do his second. He's going to fire again at the same guy to make use of the blast. So here's the other roll from his other action. As you can see, he got 6, only 3 dice roll because he couldn't boost that one. He didn't have 4 cubes given to him, and he blocked 3, meaning that 3 damage got through, which was more than enough that he is dead. And also the blast procced again to do 1 more damage to Mega Tyrant, leaving him on 7 health remaining. 1 more to Dump Truck as well, and he is on 4 health remaining. And now it is over to the heavily damaged Moray next. So Moray only had 1 energy cube given to him, so he just initiated a ranged attack and can't do anything else with his turn at strategy rating 5. So he shot at Dump Truck. Dump Truck rolled his 3 defense dice, and as you can see, he blocked exactly enough that it did no damage. So that's them gone, and now the next strategy rating is all the rest of the constructors in a row. So Dump Truck was the first of them to activate, and he wanted revenge on Moray, so he fired at him. As you can see, he rolled 5 with his 3 at close range, and then 3 was blocked. Sorry, did I say he rolled 3 dice, but he scored 5. And then 3 shield dice, 3 damage shielded, so Moray took 2 of the 3 he had left, so he's alive on 1 hit. He does have 1 energy cube left to spend, so he's going to initiate another ranged attack, and frustratingly hopefully use that to finish Moray off. A couple of dice rolls later, and as you can see, he barely did it. 3 damage, 2 blocked. The Atlanticans finally lose someone. Good grief. Roller activated with 2 energy cubes, spent the first to peel round the corner and attack. Who is that? That is Aegon with just the trident, no shield or anything. Although he is a pugilist, so when he attacks he gets to reroll. And Roller has a combat mace, which means if he had successfully dealt damage, which as you can see he did not, he would have done +2 damage. So it could have been really good, but he whiffed, and he does only have... Oh, actually, I totally forgot, when you do close combat, you roll a black die as well. I remembered at the last second, let's just add that in now. It was rolled. It rolled a 3, so never mind. Actually, he got 2 damage through, plus the other 2 from being a combat mace, means he did 4 damage. And that is exactly enough health for Aegon to actually have been murdered. So never mind, glad I caught that. Dozer ended off this batch of strategy rating 6s. He moved around the corner because he desperately wanted to kill Thermal before Thermal gets a chance to activate in the next batch of strategy rating 6s, which is him. As you can see, he rolled okay. He rolled 4 for his attack dice. Thermal spent 1 of his 3 cubes he was given to boost his defense die, so that's why there's 3. He only blocked 1, which means he took 3 damage in total. He has 4 HP though, so he lived, and that was the last of the Deceivers activating for a little while. So now Thermal and then the other 2 of the shorter people, they all get to activate. So Nami, who was the one who was smack dab in the middle here, activated first and spent 1 of 3 energy cubes to get into base to base with Dozer, then spent the other 2 on a boosted close combat attack. Dozer just normally has 2 shield dice. They both have combat shields, and what that means is when you're rolling defense dice, you exchange 1 for a black one, which makes it's a guaranteed at least 1 success. As you can see, the 2 attack dice plus the black for being a close combat attack was a terrible roll, so only scored 2, and they were successfully blocked thanks to that extra black die. So they're locked in combat because no damage was done. He isn't allowed to disengage. So now Dozer can't be shot at, but he can be attacked in close combat, but that might have just saved his life. Nebulous activated next with 2 energy cubes, one spent to move closer to the spaceport, and then another to fire a close range attack against Dump Truck. He got cover though because of how short he is and how obscured he is as a result of his scenery here, and as you can see he did okay with his attack roll, 4 damage, but thanks to the black critical imparted by cover, it was fully blocked. So Thermal was the last of the strategy rating 7s. He spent 1 cube to come around the corner and then the other to do his magnetic disruptor pistols on Mega Tyrant, and because he's close range, the purple dice were exchanged for black, and you can see he did 6. 1 energy cube was spent by Mega Tyrant to throw in a power boosted shield die, and as you can see he comfortably blocked the damage, and he's only on 1 health, so that was kind of like an all or nothing shot to take out the leader there, and it failed. So we were straight up to strategy rating 10 next, so Mega Tyrant activated, moved into base to base with the gentleman who tried to kill him, whose name I'm totally remembering, I think it was Thermal, and unleashed an attack against him with a combat mace thrown in, and it's just 3 dice. He only has 2 shield dice. You can see 6 versus 3 for 3 damage, but because of his combat mace it actually gets 2 more added on. It's all irrelevant though, because Thermal had 1 health left, so he is gone, and battle round 2 is going to end with King Crab. So King Crab started his activation, 3 energy cubes. He spent 2 of them for a boosted ranged attack on Mega Tyrant, so that's up to 4 dice, and there you can see the roll, and it was really good. It was 2, 4, 6, 8 in total. Mega Tyrant gets 4 shield dice, and he rolled 5, so he took 3 damage. He has 4 health left, and King Crab still has an energy cube and another activation, so he's going to do a unboosted ranged attack, and we'll be back in a second to see the result. Oh man, and here is the result of the roll. So he got 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 was blocked, meaning exactly 4 got through, which is precisely the amount required that Mega Tyrant is down. And that is the end of the round. It's still not a scoring round. I told you this isn't going to matter for victory points. It's going to be a tabling one way or the other. But yeah, we're going into battle round 3, so we're back down to the lower strategy ratings. So Stingray is still the fastest person on the table, strategy rating 4. He had 3 energy cubes. He spent 1 to move into the close combat that was going on here with Dozer, and initiated a close combat attack on him for his second activation and boosted it. So normally he would be 2 dice, that got up to 3, and because he's already engaged with an enemy, that put it up to 4. And as you can see, he rolled 6, 7, 8 there, of which 5 was blocked, so that was 3 damage. And that leaves Dozer on 2 health remaining. Now the next quickest person on the table, after you account for everyone who's dead, is Dozer, Dump Truck and Roller. Yes. So Dozer was the first of the constructors, builders, constructicons, whatever they're called, to activate this turn, and we can actually just show both his rolls now. He stayed in close combat and did 2 attacks, and he's staying in close combat when this is all done as well. So his first, they were all against Nami, who has a combat shield, 3 shield dice, so 1 is a black dice because of the combat shield. His first attack was for 4 damage, 3 of which was blocked, dealt 1 to him. Next roll was 6, but 4 of that was blocked for 2 damage to go through. And all said and done, Nami lived on exactly 1 HP, unfortunately. Dump Truck moved in to try and finish off Nami with a boosted close combat attack. I just remembered he should have had +1 purple die because his friend was also engaged, so that might just change what happened. He rolled an additional 1, so actually that means he got, what, 5, 6, of which 4, 5 was blocked. So actually, I was about to tell you a sad story about how Nami survived yet again by not letting any damage through. Luckily, remembered he should be getting the bonus. So actually, Nami exactly took enough damage to die. So never mind, things are not looking as bleak for the Deceivers as I thought, and it's over to Roller next, because he's the same strategy rating as those 2. Roller activated and came round the corner here through the rubble to try and get close enough for base to base contact, but he just couldn't manage it, and he only has 1 ranged attack die because he's meant for close combat. He fired it into Nebulus's back, he rolled a 1, 2 shield dice, so 2 blocks, so Nebulus took no damage. Speaking of which, there's nothing nebulous about who's going next, because it's Nebulus. I can only apologise for what I just said. So Nebulus did activate, and he has a magnetic disruptor gun as well, so at short range he's firing nothing but black dice. He shot them into Dump Truck because presumably he doesn't count as in close combat because he was only base to base with the Nami who's dead. and not with Stingray over there. So as you can see, 6 versus 3 defense, 3 damage got through, and as a result that left Dump Truck on 1 HP because he had 4, and he's got 1 action left, but there wasn't enough black dice in the game to do the roll separately, so back in a second with that roll. You know what, let's just do it live. Let's just do it live. Yeah, he's dead. Even if he had the best result, yeah, he is very dead. He is also gone. And now, as far as like strategy ratings still to go, it's just straight to King Crab at 10. So King Crab had 3 energy cubes. He spent 1 to get into base to base with Roller, and then he empowered a close combat attack. So normally it was 3 plus 1 for powering it up, plus the bonus black die for being a close combat attack, which I feel like I forgot for Dump Truck when he was attacking Nami, but I might be wrong. I may have forgotten them. I don't think it would have made a big difference overall, but I can't quite remember. Either way, Roller rolls 3 shield dice. He only defended against 2, meaning that he took 6, which is 1 more than his maximum HP, so he just got 1 shot, leaving a single Deceiver on the table. And I think we know where this is going to go, but we are going to go into the next battle round and see who it is that actually gets to complete the tabling. Oh, that was battle round 3 as well, and actually nobody scored because I guess it's 1 each because they're both in the middle. I guess if it's closest to middle it would be 1 Atlantican, but points aren't going to matter. This is going to be a tabling for sure. So battle round 4 got started. The quickest strategy rating on the table was Stingray at 3, and as you can see, he has done, well, he's done damage, and it actually is enough. He boosted close range attack. He could have done a normal one afterwards as well, so he got 6. 4 was blocked with the combat shield adding the black die there. I totally forgot he should have been rolling a black die, so he's even more dead than I was thinking. Let's just throw that in. It would have been 1 bonus damage, so not too much of a difference. Without that black die, he did exactly enough because he had 2 health left on Dozer. It actually would have been 3. So with that, he has been removed, and although suffering heavy casualties, 3 Atlanticans managed to secure the space bridge and are going to use it for Nefarious. Oh, actually, are they the good guys? When the Deceivers are the enemies, it's hard to tell. Either way, that is going to be the end of the game. An Atlantican win, or Atlantis win, whichever. And yeah, it was fun coming back to Bot War. It's a once in a while thing we're going to cover here every so often. Got 1 more force to paint up in the future, the Beast Lords. They're all very large, very expensive, very powerful, but you won't have many miniatures. And yeah, they're on the table, or will be at some point to get painted, and then we can see them as well. Plus we might see either one of these teams up against the Valiants again, a different setup, or who knows. But if you do want to see more, please do show your support so I know what to focus the channel's efforts on. Greatly appreciate you checking this out though. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Ta-ta for now.